Welcome back to the Relationship Power Up Summit. Up next, we will be hearing from Mona Ostrowski, who is a certified life coach with ULA. And you can check out her website at viamonaro.com. Hi, Mona.
Hi, Whitney. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for having me back. It's great to be here. And I'm excited to share with you today more about ULA. And today we're going to be focusing on friendship. So let me share my screen and get this show up and running. All right. So, and thank you, Whitney, again for that presentation. That was super awesome. It was scary, but awesome. So I am excited to be back and talk more about ULA. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, let me give you a quick recap. So ULA started with two guys, the ULA guys, and all they wanted to do was to change the world with one word, and that is ULA. And they have even written a best-selling book about it called ULA, Finding Balance in an Unbalanced World. And you can actually find a link to this book on the Phoenix National website. ULA comes from the French word ooh la la, and in short, it refers to a life of less stress, more balance, and greater purpose, a life of awesomeness. It's about setting goals and taking action to step towards finding balance in 7 key areas of your life. It's about creating your dream life, to drive the life that you were designed for. When we work together, we will assess these 7 key areas, and then we will dream and figure out where you want to go. We will set goals and set action steps towards reaching these goals. It's such a powerful process, and it's helped millions of people across the world to find their ULA life. I mean, have a look at this picture. The ULA bus. This is the ULA bus. It looks like it's been painted in many different colors, but it's actually stickers like these, goal stickers that people have put on the bus with dreams that they have, family goals, career goals, faith goals. And this bus now has 27 layers of dreams, 27 layers of dreams that normal people like you and I have shared with two guys that are just traveling across America in a 1970s VW surf bus. And it is just amazing. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this. And so when we work together, that's the same thing we will do. We will sit down, we will assess your life, find out where you are, and then we will set goals in the different areas. You know, we'll find out where your highs are, where your lows are, and then set goals in your fitness. We will set goals in your finance. We will set goals in family. And this is what I talked about yesterday. And if you're interested, just go back and listen to the recording. We will set goals in your field, which is your career or your passion or your side hustle, and where do you want to go in that. We will set goals within your faith walk. Where are you in that? We will set goals with friends. That's what we're going to talk about today. And then last, we will set goals within fun. And like I said yesterday, like I had to schedule fun into my life, but trust me, it's worth it. So like I said, today I am going to talk about friends and friendship. And I thought this quote from Oprah Winfrey was a fitting opening. A lot of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. So with that, grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to have you take some notes, and let's get started. So today I actually want to start a little bit upside down, inside out, backwards. I want to start with the end in mind. There's actually, side note, there's actually a great TED Talk with that same title, Start with the End in Mind, by Isaiah Hankel. I recommend that you look it up. But anyway, like I said, side note. When I say start with the end in mind, this is what I mean. Let's just start with asking some simple questions. What is friendship to me? What kind of friends do I want in my life? Or sometimes it's even easier to answer the question, what kind of friends do I not want in my life? So take the piece of paper, split it in two. On the one side, just write down the things that you don't want. Say, for example, you don't want fake friends. You don't want friends that lie. You don't want closed-minded friends. List all of the things that you don't want in a friend on the one side. And then it should be pretty obvious that if you don't want friends that lie, well, you want honest friends. If you don't want closed-minded friends, you want open-minded friends. But write it down. Sit down, like what are the values that you really appreciate in a friend, and what is it that you really want, and continue on that. And also think about, like, what do you expect from a friend? You expect them to pick up the phone and call you every day, or is it okay to have a friend that even if you don't talk for a couple of months, you'll still pick up where you left the last time? Do you expect to meet out for dinner once a week, or to go on trips once a year? Like, what is it that you expect from a friend? And on another piece of paper, I also want you to write down and really think about, what kind of a friend am I? And what kind of a friend do I want to be? And what can my friends expect from me? What is it that I bring? What is it that I will bring into our friendship? This is also important. So, you got this? Alrighty. Now we want to write down the things that you want to do. This is our dream process. Now we want to write down the things that you want to do with your friends. You want to laugh. You want to go to the movies. You want to go dancing. You want to travel. You want to talk, cry. You want to be real. As you write these things down, just imagine, close your eyes, imagine, let your mind's eye play that movie of what will it be like to have a friend like the one I described above. How much fun will you have? How will you laugh? What kind of conversations will you have? How will you feel after hanging out with your friends? Just imagine how it will fill your heart with joy, how you will, it will leave you with a smile on your face. Imagine how blessed you will feel to have such amazing, special people in your life. I mean, can you feel it? Can you see it? I mean, I know I can, because I already done it. So now let's go all the way back to the beginning again. So as you were writing down these things, and as you were thinking about what it is that you want in a friend, did you have certain people come up, certain people's names? When you were talking about laughing, crying, and being real, did you think of a certain person that would be that one person for you? When you were thinking about dancing and traveling and movie nights, was there a certain name that came up and that made you smile even bigger? If so, wow, that is awesome, and you are already blessed. And what I want you to do now is write down again on a piece of paper, write these names down. Who were the ones that came to mind when you thought about dancing? Who were the people that came to mind when you thought about talking and being real? And just write them down. Write them down. And if you didn't come up with any names, don't worry. Honestly, there was a time that I did not have any names to put on my list either. And I'll share a little bit about that just later. All right. Some of the names that came up, it could be friends that you've had since elementary school, middle school, high school. Some might be college friends or colleagues that turned into friends. It doesn't really matter how long they've been in your life, as long as the time that you have with them has been encouraging, that they're supportive towards you and what you want to do in life, that they're tuned in to really what's going on with you, that you trust them, that you trust their advice because you know that they get you. You know that they know what is best for you because they have seen you at your best, but they've also seen you at your worst. These people here, these are the friends that you want in your inner circle. And if you were watching yesterday and I was talking about family, and I recommended that you grouped your family members in 3 different circles, your inner circle, the middle circle, and then the outer circle. The same goes for your friendships. The friends that you have in your inner circle are the ones you spend the most time with, the ones you call or text the most. They're the ones that influence you and that you influence back. The question now is, do you have the right people in your inner circle? Or do you have toxic friends in your inner circle? Were there some names that when you were thinking of the things I mentioned above that, gave you the opposite feeling of happy and blessed, that actually made your pupils dilate a little bit and cold sweat in your hands? If so, these people, they do not belong in your inner circle. And here's the thing. There are friends that aren't your friends. Actually, they are toxic in your life. They are the blamers, the complainers, the drainers, the discounters, the shamers, and the gossipers. Now listen up. Toxic friendships, gossipy friends, needy friends, getting used by others, friends that manipulate you, unreliable dudes that you just can't trust, friends that hold you back, that ridicule your dreams and aspirations, friends that always try to talk you out of things, friends that always know better, friends that only bring drama. Are there any names that pop up when you think of these things? If so, then really sit back and think, what are these people actually bringing to your life? Are they bringing support? Do they want what is best for you? Do they want to see you win? Are they your biggest fans? This is where you need to just be bold enough and say, if they're not, if they don't support you, if they don't want what's best for you, you just have to say enough. And if you were listening before to Whitney talking about boundaries, I think she'll agree that this is a great place where you actually need to set boundaries. You need to let go of those that are holding you back. And this is where you have to decide. You can either have a crucial conversation, which also Whitney encouraged, to say, listen, I appreciate you, but I'm going to have to take a step back. Or you can move them out to outer circles. They don't have to be in your inner circle. They don't even have to be in your middle circle. They can be in your wider outer circle. Or what, even more simply, you can unfriend, unfollow, and delete. It's really up to you. There's no easy way out of toxic relationships, whether it's your friends or family. There will always be 2 sides to a story. You just have to trust that the decision that you make was best for you in your life and for your bliss. All right, moving on. Your next circles, you have your inner circle, your closest friend, your fans, your supporters, your core group. Your next circle is a little bit wider. This can be made up of people that you know well, like, for example, those you hang out with at work, or your neighbors, or school moms if you're a parent, or your yoga friends at the yoga studio. They're usually based on mutual interests or, forced interactions, but they can still provide fun times and a sense of connections. But be aware, even in this circle, there can always be a drama. So again, make sure that you nurture your crew, create healthy relationships, be vigilant for the gossipers, stay away from the complainers, and smile and wave at the blamers. Your bliss is high priority, and it's your job to keep your whole friend zone toxic free. Now, last, there is the outer circle. These are your social media connections, your workplace buddies, your high school friends that you just follow on Facebook, or your spouse's tribe if you're married. They might not be major influencers in your life, but they give life dimension, and they can also provide the random opportunity to expand what you're doing in either your career or personal life. And as you start to group your friends into the different circles, go back to the exercise that we started with. What kind of friends do you want? How do you want to feel when you've been with a friend? And what do you want to do with your friends? There is absolutely no particular number here that is the right number. We're all different, so you be you. Some people might be the social butterfly that enjoys surrounding themselves with a lot of people, whereas others are more private and prefer to have like one or two really good friends. But just remember, this is all about creating less stress, more balance, and a greater purpose. So you claim yours. Do whatever is right for you. And if you find out that you need to upgrade your friend circle, well, stay tuned. Now, as I mentioned above, at one point, I actually didn't have any names to add to my list. The people I surrounded myself with were my family, my colleagues, and when it came to friends, well, there wasn't many. We moved around a lot, yes. I felt that it was difficult to hold on to friends, yes. But if I'm honest, it wasn't just that. I was also partly to blame. In preparing for this program, I had to kind of have a look back at my own friend history. And well, I realized that I have had many friends, but there's not many left in my life. And I recognize that every friendship I've had, they've kind of ended. And they've ended because I've pushed people away. And I think I figured out why. I must have been like 12 or 13. The summer holiday was just over, and I was super excited to get back to school to see my best friend. I'd even brought her a little present, and I was just happy. We had our desks paired, and everything was going great, at least I thought, until one day I came back to the classroom after recess, and I found that my desk had been moved to the back of the classroom, and my best friend and her new best friend were now sitting together, and I was alone. I mean, I was devastated. But it actually, I think, hit me a lot harder than I thought it had, because looking back at my friend's history, whenever I get close to people, whenever I start feeling vulnerable, I guess, and this is what Whitney talked about again, I build these walls and I keep people at an arm's length. And if we get too close, well, I pull away. So when I came here to the US, I really just wanted to find my tribe. I wanted to find friends that were not my family and that I didn't work with, because now, well, most of my colleagues are in their early 20s. Um, I wanted, I guess I wanted to to just find friends and really trust in that process again. So I did what I told you guys to do. I have it here. Um, I started with the end in mind. I wrote down what I wanted. What do I want from a friendship? What kind of friends do I want? What do I want to do with them? And what kind of a friend do I want to do? What do I want to be? Sorry. I didn't know where to find these people, but one day I realized I received a newsletter from an online magazine called The Girlfriend, and they were talking about how challenging it could be to make friends when you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s. And this article actually mentioned an app for meeting friends. Yep. So you know that there's dating apps, right? And there's actually apps as well for, you know, women specifically to meet friends. And I chose an app called Bumble BFF, and through this app, I have been extremely blessed to meet a tribe of women, Whitney being one of them. And it's it's awesome. I'm super excited, more so to go back to New York so that I can, you know, start hanging out, hopefully in person soon as well. But in reality, also, this is where the real hard work starts for me. And now trusting in myself, in allowing myself to be vulnerable, and not fall into my traps of pushing people away when I feel that they're getting too close. So, here we go. Whitney, you got my back. But I just want to say this. If anybody else has experienced something similar, I mean, and I say this with love, kids are cruel. Uh, they really are. So if you recognize that some of your destructive patterns when it comes to friendships are because of experiences that you had growing up, like mine, just remember that. Like kids are cruel. And the second thing, just remember that really it had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with them. You are worthy of friendship, just as you're worthy of a life of less stress, more balance, and a greater purpose, because you and all of us are created for greatness. And this is your chance to go and live it. So, to wrap it up, I would like to read a text that I came across years ago and that kind of has helped me through, and that might help you as well as we move forward. It's called Friends for a Reason, Friends for a Season, and Friends for a Lifetime. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you figure out which it is, you will know exactly what to do. When someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need you have expressed outwardly or inwardly. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide with you guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. They may seem like a godsend, and they are. They are there for the reason you need them to be. Then, without any wrongdoing on your part or at the incon or at an sorry, or at an inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they walk away. Sometimes they act up or out and force you to take a stand. What we must realize is that our need has been met, our desire fulfilled. Their work is done. The prayer you sent up has been answered, and it is now time to move on. When people come into your life for a season, it is because Your turn has come to share, to grow, or learn. They may bring you an experience of peace or make you laugh. They may teach you something you have never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe it, it's real, but it's only for a season. Lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person or people, and put what you have learned to use in all other relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. And this is from an unknown author, but I thought it was fitting for the topic that we're talking about today. So again, thank you so much for watching, for being here with us. My name is Mona Ostrowski. I am a certified ULA life coach, and I help my clients find less stress, more balance, and greater purpose in their lives through addressing highs and lows in the 7 key areas of life. If you feel unbalanced, I would love to talk. So schedule a free discovery call with me through my webpage. And yeah, let's just talk. All right. Thank you.
That was awesome, Mona. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, that was amazing. I was right. I think I have like 3 pages that I wrote just now, because I think everybody can relate to this subject on friendships, right? I remembered someone saying that you know people by their friends and who they associate themselves with, right? And so, and I think, I mean, I don't mean to kind of get political, but it's like in even with this election, I mean, friendships have been lost and broken over this election. Family members are not talking to each other over this over this election, and I don't see, I realize that with the 3 sections of friends, you have reason, season, and lifetime, right? Lifetime friends are ride or die. It's like, you can disagree, that's it. But when the rubber hits the road, they are there. And I realized I've recognized my lifetime friends, because it doesn't matter what happens between the 2 of you. There's always this reconciliation, where you can say, you know what, I'm sorry. Or I really didn't mean that. And forgiveness and, apologies are clean. People don't like hold on to it you can't have a lifetime friendship with somebody who cherishes resentment.
Yeah. And what you find,
right?
absolutely. And when you find, when you do have those people that recognizes resentment as a quality, like what you'll find within ULA is that your friend area will be low, and you'll be stressed out, and you'll be, frustrated, and you'll be sad, and you won't really understand it. But also what will happen is that it will affect other areas of your life. It will affect maybe your family life, because you're trying to please this friend so badly that it takes away from your family. Or it will can affect your field, your career, your work area, because they'll call you at all times of day trying to get you to kind of fill that void that they have within themselves. So and to be able to recognize these people, and how they actually drain your life, it's so important. And it starts with what Whitney mentioned before, that awareness, having that awareness. That I remember I had one friend, and whenever I was with her, I came home and I was so tired, and
Tired.
I didn't understand.
Mhm.
I didn't understand. I didn't feel energized. I didn't feel, uplifted. I didn't feel like, I felt happy because, she was my friend, but I felt physically drained. So she like drained my energy
Mhm.
completely. And it's
Mhm.
it's recognizing that, hey, you know what, every time I am with this person, this happens. If I'm with that person, it doesn't happen. So it's taking the time and building that awareness around, this isn't right.
Mhm.
And this kind of person, I cannot have in my life because it takes away from the other areas in my life. And
Yeah.
that's what we do in ULA. We help people recognize, to bring the awareness to the area, and so that, you can have a balanced life.
Yeah. If you know the purpose of a person in your life, it's easier for you to deal with them. Because if you treat everybody like a lifetime friend, you're going to get disappointed. Truth.
Yeah.
And that was a lesson I learned the hard way. Right? I thought everybody was nice and everybody was good. I was one of those innocent ones, man. I got railroaded. It's like, they didn't mean it like that. It's like, wake up, Phil. I watched too much Disney. That's what it
Rose-colored glasses.
was.
Mona,
Exactly.
I really liked also how you talked about how you can meet new friends, because I feel like some people hang on to these old relationships and toxic relationships because they have this they're not living in abundance. They're having scarcity mentality instead of abundance mentality. And it's like, oh, I have these few friends and I just need to hang on to them and I can't let them go. And it's like, no, if the relationship's not working out, you either end it or you let some distance come between you. And, there are ways to meet new friends, even if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, there's
Mm-hmm.
apps, we actually, one of the things that Mona and I did when we first met near the beginning of quarantine was we started having these weekly girls' nights on Zoom. So even though we're quarantined, even though we don't really know each other yet, it was all brand new friends. We
Mm-hmm.
were able to build friendships and have
Mhm.
connection and belonging and limit our isolation and aloneness. So there are things happening. And if you can't find it out there, go create it.
But yeah, that's the
Absolutely.
thing though, right? And I think this is why I love the movement of people focusing more on their emotional and inner health, right? Because I realize that people that don't have a lot of friends are namely scared of that experience that Mona was so, and I love your transparency, Mona. I love hanging out with transparent people because it's like, yeah, I may have been just blocking people because of how I was treated when I was vulnerable,
Mhm.
right? When I tried to be more transparent with, like, when you're younger in kindergarten or high school, or you really base how you interact with people on your earlier experiences,
Absolutely.
you
And
know.
that was a huge realization for me as well, that one incident when I was 12 or 13, I can't remember, that kind of has followed me throughout my high school years, throughout my even my adult, years, where I would keep friends like Whitney was talking about. I would like hold on to them because, oh my God, I have friends. And then I became the pleaser because I didn't want them to end the relationship, but then I got tired, so I ended up pushing them away myself.
Right.
And I mean, I'll be honest, I'm probably doing that a little bit with our friend tribe at the moment because I felt overwhelmed.
Right.
But it's about, I have to build the wall down as well. It's not going to come down overnight. I'm
Mhm.
going to have to build the wall down, which is why I said, Whitney, you got to have my back here because now you know where I'm coming from.
Right.
Because that's it. Like, you build it up, and I've spent like 30 years building that wall up. maintaining it, polishing it, painting it, making it look, white picket fence and beautiful. But, inside is that devastated 12-year-old girl still, that was put at the back of the classroom and left without friends, which is in many ways as well. My friends became the boys. So it's much easier for me to become friends with you, Phil, and Oscar than to open myself up fully to somebody like Whitney, but I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be the 12-year-old. I want to have fulfilling friendships with amazing people like Whitney. But
Thank you. I'm honored by our friendship.
Well, you inspire me, and you've inspired me to my ULA coaching, and just had my back through that process. So yeah. It's got to go down, but
I used to be shy. Right? Well, back in the day, I used to be shy, but there were certain things I started discovering that caused me to break out. And I actually still am breaking out, because it's like the wall can feel safe. And I'm
so
glad
nice and warm.
I mean, but you said, like you said, you start creating your own world in there. And then I used to come up with these highfalutin philosophies, man, that were just like, and the roses are always red, and the sun is always shining, and and I mean, when you wake up, you're like, yo, the world is not like that. You have to kind of like gradually anticipate that you're going to get disappointed. I realize people are going to disappoint you. And once you've like come to that reality, you don't make it as personal anymore. Right? You just realize, hey, everybody has something. And when that something is shown, you have to be willing to say, okay, I love you beyond that. Right? Now you stab me in the back. Now that's a whole other thing. That's like, but that's where, and I think that's the caveat for everyone is trust. Yeah. I think that's the backbreaker for so many people, is that once you've broken that bond of trust, it's really hard to reattach after that's been, I mean, you really have to kind of like work that out in order to rebuild that. But once a certain level of trust is broken, I find that with people in general, it's hard to reconnect after that, because it's like you've broken something within the friendship that was the foundation of it. Is like, I should be able to trust you. And that's why I said sometimes you learn that you can trust people. Some people you can learn to trust them with money, and some people you can't trust them with $1, right? So, you have to kind of like work out those things that are not compromisable. But overall, I found that most relationships break down because of trust. What do you think?
No, absolutely. And I also think it goes back to what, Whitney was talking about in becoming a boundary badass, that you have to be clear with your expectations from day one, and I think that goes for whether it's, in your friendship and in your personal life with your family, or as you start off dating. I think knowing yourself well enough to know that this is the kind of, BS that I'm not gonna accept in my life, and then voicing that, having the courage to voice that, and not be afraid that, oh, if I do voice it, then they're not gonna like me, being that people pleaser and that, chasing those likes all the time. I think that's where it stems from. You have to be authentic to yourself. You have to love and appreciate who you are, and not try to keep up with the Joneses, or
Right.
follow somebody else's picture perfect Instagram life, which behind the scenes is really not that perfect, you know.
I love how you
So
put that, the picture perfect Instagram life. Everybody's happy on Facebook.
yep. But it touches on, yes, trust, but I think the first person you have to trust is yourself.
Wow. That's profound. That's really profound. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Whitney, let me ask you, you in this conversation about toxic relationships, I was thinking about the word toxic, right? And I associated with being poisonous, right? Something that affects you and everybody around you. So what are some of the signs? I mean, this is for the both of you. Mona, this is your segment too. But what are some of the signs of toxicity? Like, how can you identify it on the get-go?
Definitely recognizing how you feel around that person or after hanging out with that person. Like Mona said, there was someone that she always felt really drained afterwards. If someone is constantly being negative, that's something that's a huge pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it when people are always negative, or if they lie, or if they're living in denial and not in the truth. That really drains me and is something that is toxic for me. If they're mean, if they're rude, if they put themselves either way above you or way below you and say, oh, you're so great, you're so this, or the I'm better than you attitude. You want a friend that's going to be side by side, link arms and take on the world together, not
Right.
someone who's looking up at you or looking down on you. Toxic. Yeah, if they're always bringing their drama around, oh my God, I got in a fight with my boyfriend, blah, 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 like those kind of things. What else, Mona? What comes to your mind when you think of?
Yeah, a lot of the same things. And Oscar just popped in, so now he distracted my thoughts. What was I going to say? No, it was the same things that I was going to say. The people that bring the drama in all the time, the gossipers, the people that always has something else to say, especially if there's somebody else in the friend circle. The people that are continuously negative, that always have something to complain about, like nothing is ever good enough. And
people that just want you as a side
Yeah, exactly. Those are definitely I think those are the biggest signs of this. I think it's a great subject line that you chose, Mona.
But I think also you need to be careful, and you need to be aware again, because sometimes you're that person.
Ooh, whoa. That whole I know. So wait. So the other flip side is then, how do you identify if you are that person?
Well, do you always have to complain about your life when you meet your friends? Do you always have to gossip about that third friend that isn't there at that moment? Do you always have something to say about that person?
Okay.
Are you never happy with your life and the way it is? Do you
Okay.
That's you.
Yeah.
Does your friend?
A lot of times friendships can be improved.
Say that again.
Sorry, technical.
Say that again, Whitney. I didn't hear you clearly.
Something else popped into my mind, which is that friendships can sometimes be improved. So sometimes if you address the elephant in the room or set a boundary and say, hey, I don't like it when you do that. Can we do this instead? But the more you could speak up and be honest and be authentic and be direct and tell someone, hey, I don't like it when you do this, or I don't feel good when you do this, or let's do this activity instead of this. You can maybe make the friendship better and make the relationship better before you just, cut them off completely. So I think that's important to understand that there are ways to communicate in a healthy way, to put it all out there and try to find areas of improvement. And then it becomes more obvious if you say, I don't like it when you do this, let's do this instead. And then they continue to do that thing. It makes it much easier to cut them off, because you're like, okay, I tried.
Right.
And I think for your own self-assessment, if you are, worried about whether or not you're that toxic friend, just go back, answer the 18 questions that Whitney asked earlier. How many yeses are you answering? And if you're answering more than, more than 11, then I think you need to have a look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, well, maybe I'm the one that need to change here. And if you have those solid friends, then you can reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? I just realized that I am a people pleaser, and that every time you say something, I say yes. I actually don't like going to the beach because I get easily sunburned, but I say yes all the time, and then I suffer for a week after, just because I don't want to say no. Like, it's a silly example because I love going to the beach, but like, if you talk to your friend and they're like, oh, cool, then you know that you have a solid friendship there, and that people are willing to, like you said before as well, like they're willing to work with you, like Whitney said, and they've been with you through thick and thin. They know they know the flip side of your coin. They know the bad sides of you, and they still love and accept you for that. So
that's it. I think this was a great subject line. We really do need to revisit this, because it's very, there's a lot more factors to it. But Mona, I think you were awesome. It was an awesome presentation. Those of you who are watching, I kind of was keeping track online, and what our subject line seems to be something that people want to hear. But I think that this was an amazing subject again, and I can't wait to hear you guys talk about this. Maybe we have to do a duo kind of a thing going on, right?
We can do something together.
Absolutely. You guys have amazing chemistry here. So we have to move on, because our Focus on You is coming up next. We're going to be talking to our guys, the Walk for Peace 2020. They're going to be coming on next, as well as our friend Nico, a new partner in the Phoenix National Network. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and see you in about 5 more minutes.